Hello, beautiful people. You guys, I am just sending you so much love right now because I feel like this is a very heavy moment for a lot of you guys. Not, I say moment, but it feels like it's a whole bunch of collective moments pieced together over the past 10 days. Earbud confirmation. Oh man, it just wants to come out. Okay. I feel like you guys have been doing a lot of deep diving, deep inner work. And it feels like it's coming from a place that you've already done that work from. Okay. It feels like it's this work almost feels like I'm hearing the word monotonous, but the energy behind it feels like it's more like redundant. Like it's repetitive. It's the same thing that you've been working on and been trying to heal, and the same inner shadows that you've been facing that you have already overcome. For a lot of you guys, I'm hearing addictions. For some of you guys, I'm feeling like it's intertwined and intermingled with relationships within family and friends. Something where you have set a boundary for yourself in that area, and take it however it applies to you. But be mindful about this, because this message that I'm sharing isn't to scare you off or to make you feel like you have gone back in time and that you are, failing, or that you've messed up in somewhere or something, because it's not. This is a place of reminding you and your soul that rest and integration is a huge part of healing and a huge part of your moving forward, of your alignment, of your soul's alignment. And what I keep seeing is spirals. Like, you're going to keep coming back to something, but it's going to be with a higher mindset, a higher understanding, a deeper understanding. It's like if you're in school and you're learning grammar, English grammar, or it doesn't have to be English, obviously, if you're not English speaking, but you're learning language and grammar. And in first and second grade, you're just learning like how to put words together. And then as you get into third, fourth, fifth grade, you're learning about the subject and the noun, and the adjective that describes that noun. And then as you get into high school, you're finding like all of these other specifics to different types of adjectives and types of nouns, and there's pronouns, and it's just like all these different things that you're learning, but it's like it's still grammar. But as you cycle back into it, or as each year progresses and you cycle back into that grammar class or that life lesson or that relationship with somebody, you have a higher understanding of it. You have a baseline of learning that you've already learned. You've already learned how to piece together the words, or how to spell those words, and what the subject and the noun and the adjective are. And now you're going to a heightened level. One of my friends keeps telling me, when we were talking about this, she had a mentor that would describe it as, because I see it as a spiral, but her mentor describes it as like that was undergrad school, now you're in graduate school. And it's not that it's harder, it's just different. Like you have this underlying knowledge and wisdom of these things already from undergrad, or from, it can be from elementary school, from my example. And you're just compounding that information, that wisdom, that knowledge, something you've already worked through previously, and you're being given a chance to relive it with more wisdom, with more deeper understanding, and to be able to compound that knowledge and information to help further you so you can continue to move forward. And that's the place that you're in right now. And it feels heavy because it feels like a lot of things are either triggering you or are coming to the surface, where you're having to re-look at them and re-examine them again in how it fits in your life. because each person's going to have it different. Each person's going to be experiencing this slightly differently. And as I've been diving more into astrology as well too, because I'm not an astrologer. Let me just be clear on that one. So if there's anything that I bring up that doesn't seem quite right, I would love to know. I mean, this is for feedback, right? Like, everybody give feedback and share this. But when I've been diving more into it, I'm starting to understand and realize that each phase and shift that's happening in one's life, it is happening collectively for a lot of people, but it's happening slightly different. So if you guys are aware of the 12 houses in astrology, and each house has its own signifying like meaning or purpose or what that house is about. So I don't have my notes in front of me. I really I'm just now diving into this. I'm still learning. But I believe, like, for example, the 6th house is about health and like mindset around health and physical health and bodily health and stuff like that. So if this phase, if this place that you're in right now that you're struggling with happens to be, astrologically speaking, based off of your birth chart, your natal chart, in your 6th house of health, then you might be realizing that things around your health are resurfacing. Or maybe you're realizing you're falling into or finding yourself being pulled to addictions or things that were counteractive or counterintuitive. Yeah, counteractive or counterintuitive for your health's progression or for whatever you have overcome and conquered. So let's say you used to binge eat all the time, or you just ate tubs of ice cream at night. And so you're finding that pull to go back to doing those things that you've already overcome. And you've learned that knowledge that, hey, that's not healthy for me. And in order for me to take care of my body and vessel, I need to change out those habits and those nutritional choices. And you've already overcome that. But this is a time where it's resurfacing, it's spiraling back. It's like you're having to basically relearn and re-examine and, in a sense, test yourself on your knowledge of what you have learned, of what you have already learned in elementary school, in undergrad, and you're just leveling up. So it's your time to use that information, that wisdom, that knowledge that you have overcome in that area. And again, I'm just using the 6th house for example because that's what's popping in my head right now. I'm learning all of the houses. I know they all stand for something. I just don't know which correlating house off the top of my head right now. But I mean, there's a house for relationships, there's a house for finances and taxes, there's a relationship. There's a house for like friendships and family and community. So in each house, depending on what your birth chart is and where things are landing at certain times, collectively we are all going through this shift of things resurfacing and reminding us to be in a rest state. Practicing meditation more might be important for some of you guys to be hearing right now, but it feels like there's a very contemplative state that you're in that is bringing up old wounds and old triggers and old addictions and old habits and old partnerships that you are, I'm hearing, recognizing, like you're very aware that it's coming up again. And for some of you guys, you might be feeling like, whoa, hang on, I already dealt with this. I already set this boundary with this person, or I already cut out that, not so positive habit for myself and my body, whatever it is. But just to know, like, I want this to be confirmation to you that this is part of the integration process. So you can learn something from school, but if you're not having to integrate and implement it in different parts of your life, we lose that, right? Eventually, we start to lose the intricacies and the details of that information. So again, if we go back to the grammar example, if you don't practice writing grammar or analyzing and breaking apart sentences, eventually, if you haven't done it for such a long period of time that it's baseline knowledge for yourself, and I mean like years of practicing certain things, like you didn't study that one thing, that wasn't your one emphasis. If you don't practice it, think about a secondary language. You learn a language and you stop practicing it. How quickly does it go out the window? You still remember certain phrases and key words, but I mean, if you're not implementing it, if you're not integrating it into your life, so you're being given a shot and a chance, basically, to, and this isn't about a pass or fail, okay? Like, your soul is aligned for greatness. Like, this isn't a pass or fail type thing. This is an integrating type thing. This is a deep sit with it and understand where it's coming from, why you are more inclined to respond to something a certain way, why you're feeling pulled to something a certain way. And like I said, I just want to be very clear. This is going to apply differently to each person. So for me personally, I've felt like the past week or two, I've been feeling like family, friendship, relationship type pulls and communication things and just stuff within that area. For some of you guys, it might be more of the 6th house health stuff. It could be in your 1st house, which again, I'm trying to remember all this stuff. I don't know. I don't remember. But I will look that up though. And if anybody wants to come in here and break down like quickly and write what each house is for, because I know we can all go Google it and look it up and stuff, but at the same time, it's nice to just have a reference right there. So I am studying that right now, and I am trying to learn more because I do feel like it heavily helps like paint a picture of what we're collectively going through and how to break it down in a more detailed way, but simplified. So like finding one area of your life that you are ruminating on or struggling with or succeeding in, and figure out, astrologically speaking, energetically speaking, what might be playing out for you and what lessons can you hone in on that you're supposed to be learning or teaching yourself or reintegrating. So yeah, it definitely feels, it's like there's a lot of me just contemplating here. It feels like it's very much a contemplative state of mind that you're in right now, where you're re-examining your choices, not going back on and changing them per se, but re-examining why you made those choices in the first place. And then they're coming up and resurfacing right now, and you are having to integrate that knowledge, wisdom, and practices that you've now created for yourself, for your higher aligned self, and reintegrate that into your daily practices and life now. And maybe for some of those things, let's go back to meditation. Maybe for some of you guys, you were really into meditation. Part of your spiritual awakening and growth was a lot of meditating, a lot of sitting with self. And maybe you've strayed from that for many reasons. There could be multiple different things, but maybe you've stopped doing it as much. So this would be a time to reintegrate that again and remind yourself of what you felt like when you were doing those practices and how it helped clear things for you or make things more clear for you, or how it just settled certain energies, whatever that looks like for you. And I'm just using meditation as an example, but this is a time and place that I feel like you guys are really called to integrate what you've learned and recently walked out of or set boundaries with or changed and adapted from, and use that now in these situations. And I'm also hearing that like this is also a time to be very grateful too, because Spirit's saying that you've been given such heavy, like you've gone through such heavy fires and you've walked through it and come out of it. And these are just tiny little like smoldering little like pieces of the fire that are coming out at you. It's not the entire fire. So, and again, that's not to sit here and say like, be grateful because it's been worse, but look at where you came from. Like use that as your motivation, as a reminder to celebrate where you've come from and how much you've achieved and what you've done and everything that you have overcome and deeply understood and looked at and did the inner shadow work. Verb confirmation, like you guys did that work. And this is just a reminder to say you've already done the heaviest load of it. These are just tiny little annoying. My video cut off. What's it called when you have like a big roaring fire and like little like pieces of not necessarily coal, but like little like it like cracks and like pops and like if you're close enough and it gets your skin and you're like, ah. But that's what this is right now. It's like a time for you to look at that and be like, whoa, I used to be in that pit fire. And now I'm just having to relive and get to learn with the wisdom that now I'm far enough away, I'm not in it. I have the wisdom and the knowledge of where my boundaries are to not be inside the fire. And how can I learn from these little sparks coming through? How can I integrate and reintegrate these new programs, these new understandings, this new knowledge that I have for myself and in life? And this is the time to do that. This is such a pivotal time of transformation and rest and reintegration for your highest good, for your soul's evolution, for you to continue to move forward in your path. My phone is about to reach its maximum capacity. I thought I deleted so many things to clear up storage, but today it's going to be a short video because there's not much I can do with this one right now. So you guys, that's the message, but I just want to send you so much love and a big flippin' hug because it doesn't feel cute and fuzzy and warm, but you're being called to be reminded of how fluffy and powerful you are. And yeah, how fluffy and powerful you are and everything you've come through and everything you've gone through and everything you've overcome and just the special, amazing individual that you are. And that this is just a time for you to just reintegrate, just to see how much you've learned and grown. This is to showcase what you've done, what you've accomplished, and how you have reintegrated it back into your life. And then to celebrate that. Because guess what? You're making it through. This isn't a pass or fail thing, like I said. This is something for you to just reintegrate. It's one of those awesome teachers that we've had where you go into school and they're like, hey, we have a pop quiz. And you're like, ah, oh, no. And they're like, but don't worry, it's not being graded. It's literally just to see where you guys are at in class. And you're like, okay, pressure relieved, right? That's what this is. It's a pop quiz that was like, oh, I got chills. It's like a pop quiz that like we didn't really expect. And we're like, oh, but guess what? You're not being graded on it and you're not going to fall backwards from it. This is just simply for you to reintegrate and show what you've learned and for you to celebrate what you have learned and to highlight the things that you can still work on. It's knowledge, it's information, it's beautiful and it's powerful. Okay. I love you guys. Have a beautiful rest of your day and I'll see you guys in the next video. You got this. Okay.